Hello everyone, Star ASMR here, and this is a bit of a different video. I'm just going to ramble, and what you're going to see on the screen is a little car journey which I took travelling from the towns of Wilmslow, which is just south of Manchester, and we're going to be travelling today through to the great town of Congleton, which is a town where I live. Granted, at the moment we're stuck in traffic, but the red light is about to turn to green and we'll be on our way. I do need to warn you at some point towards the end of the video, the camera basically comes loose in the cradle, which is currently attached to the windscreen, and you'll basically drop slightly, but that's right at the end of the video. So Wilmslow, there's a lot of money in Wilmslow. A lot of people, posh people, rich people live around here. Pilots, footballers, all sorts. But it's quite an affluent area. A lot of towns have things like, Volkswagen or Vauxhall or Ford dealerships, maybe the odd Renault dealership. These guys have Aston Martin dealerships, so yeah. So what was I doing? Basically dropping someone off at Manchester Airport, doing a favour, and basically driving home. I didn't have time to put the camera up at the actual airport itself. And Wilmslow was the next town down from where the airport was, so I basically pulled over, set up the camera and got going. So yeah, there we go. Just having a lovely drive through Wilmslow towards one of the new bypasses, and you can see it's a lovely day. The sun was shining quite brightly. All the rain had come down earlier on in the day, and the night before, I think it was. And there's been, in fact, it has been exactly a week since I did this journey, so basically a bit lazy that I haven't done this bit yet, but I was trying to figure out how I was going to do it, to be honest, and then finding a quiet time. Currently, as I'm recording this video, it's about nearly 2 in the morning. Every so often you may hear a car going by as well, which is quite good, because if you could hear the video, there'd be lots of traffic anyway. But yeah, a lot of the pubs in town are kicking out right about now, so there's taxis and all sorts going by on the main road. So you might hear that because the Yeti's been turned up quite loud, so I don't have to speak too loud. So there you go, it's quite a new road actually. So they're a few years old, it's so smooth, although the camera's giving the impression it isn't right now. In fact, it definitely is, it's shaking all over the place. But yeah, I mean, this basically bypasses the whole town of Oldley Edge, which again, very affluent area. A lot of Manchester footballers who play for teams like Manchester United, they live around this area. Just to the left hand side, over the fields, to the left of the car right now, that's where Oldley Edge is. Sorry. So yeah, it's just another peaceful drive through what is now the countryside. whereas before we get caught in traffic going through Oldley Edge, and it's an absolute nightmare. But again, it would have been nice to show you Oldley Edge, because there's always supercars and big expensive cars just parked on the side of the road, and people who make more money in a month than I make in a year. They'll be just sat on the side drinking coffee and prosecco and all manner of expensive drinks. I'm not bitter. Anyway, yeah, just passed under a rail bridge a few moments ago. That was one of the main train lines going into Manchester. I believe that line goes from Crewe. I could be wrong though. That footbridge here. We're coming up to a place called Oldley Park. Now, it used to be a huge drugs business that was run out of Oldley Park called AstraZeneca. They made all sorts of medicines, and I believe they've recently been taken over by a large pharmaceutical company, and the site is basically closing down bit by bit. And that is just, again, on our left hand side. On the right hand side, very posh houses. So yeah, we're basically caught in traffic lights now. Traffic lights for Oldley Park. Yep, there, you can see the sign for it there. I think, I'm almost sure we're behind this Volkswagen for most of the journey now, if I remember right. So yeah, that's the main gateway on the left for Oldley Park. We'll be driving now towards another gateway into the AstraZeneca site. Again on the left hand side. And we're now travelling towards Monk's Heath. There's a building on the right hand side. Used to be a little chef. It's been so many different restaurants. It keeps closing down and reopening as something else. Now here's Monk's Heath. If you turn left, you go to a town called Chelmsford. If you go, no, sorry, that's right. Right to Chelmsford and left to Macclesfield. Another great town. Sorry. And if I make these videos and whisper, my throat always gets a little bit sharp and rough, and that's because of an older issue that I had with my voice. So often I need to just clear my throat a little bit. Now there's a place coming up on the right hand side. There's the entrance to it. Capesthorne Hall. It's just on the right hand side of the road now. Going past all the grounds. They do all sorts of things there. Concerts, conventions, weddings, all sorts of stuff. I won't be surprised if there's a golf course there. But that strange building slightly back, that's the main office for the estate. And there's another turning, and that leads to the hall itself. It's a nice road. again, it's quite smooth, although the camera isn't doing it much justice at the moment. Yeah. I'm hoping that when you see this video it'll be a bit smoother. As I'm watching it back, it's very jumpy and jittery. I'm hoping that it'll be a bit better than that when you watch it back. As I'm recording the audio, it's gone really slow, and I'm hoping I don't have to restart it, do it all over again. Might just be my laptop. You can probably hear the fan whirring a billion miles an hour trying to get it sorted out. There we go, we seem to have sorted out now. Anyway, enough of my technical woes. It was such a beautiful day. It really was. Just watching it back now, it's I am lucky living in the part of England I do live in. You know, I can drive for 10 minutes in almost any direction and be in the middle of the countryside. I'm really, really lucky. Now I think, yes, I'm almost sure we're heading towards the village of Marton, and I'm hoping that when we get there, you'll see a beautiful church on the left. You'll know when we get to that point because there'll be a pub on the right called the Davenport Arms, which is a lovely little pub in the middle of the country. Now, to the left, I don't think we're going to see it again, but on the left there is a huge mountain. Well, it's not a mountain, it's too short to be a mountain, but only by a few metres. But it's called the Cloud, and there was a brilliant shot of it just a few moments ago. The hill just sort of stops and turns into a cliff. Now, just after the Ice Age, that used to be the coast. We're actually travelling along the old seabed. There's a lot of sand quarries in Cheshire, on the Cheshire Plains, because it used to be a seabed. It's a great place for sand, obviously. And again, the distance is another hill where Malcock Castle is. Here we go. We're heading towards the town. No, not the town, sorry, the village. Marton, there we go. So, coming up very soon. Just around the corner, I think it is. I've travelled this route so many times, I should know. I should know by now where we are. Here we are, so this is the village. And just around this corner is the Davenport Arms. There it is. Now, keep your eyes peeled because on the left hand side, just a moment, this old church. It's beautiful. And we'll take some pictures of that one day and show you that it's such a lovely church made out of all the old materials that all buildings of the day were made out of. Wood, straw, cowpat. It has got a proper technical term, that building material, but I can't think it's basically muck, cow pattern, straw and all the good stuff, and a wood timber frame. Wall and daub, is that what it's called? Anyway, we've now left the village of Martin and we're heading now towards Congleton. Again, look at such a beautiful day. Fantastic scenery. Right directly ahead of us, that's where Malcop is, right on those hills up there. You still can't see the cloud from where we are. That's the name of the big hill that I want to take us. And just on that turning there, I DJ'd a wedding down there a few months ago. There's another pub on the left, the Wagon and Horses. So it's about, I think it's just gone about 3 o'clock at this point, maybe a bit after 3. So all the schools have started to come out because in Congleton high schools finish at about 3 o'clock, sorry. So the traffic will start to pick up. You'll see, people, kids walking home, people walking home, and yeah, we're not too far now from the town where I live. I'm quite impressed that the sun hasn't blinded the camera for the whole video. I'm really happy with that fact. That was one of the worries that I had, because for the whole journey my sun visor was down and I was wearing sunglasses because it was that bright. I was really worried that this video wasn't going to come out properly, and it has, so I'm quite happy. Now the odd lens flare makes it look like a J.J. Abrams production anyway, so bonus points for that. Yeah, so here we go. The school traffic just down to the left. You can see the street, the road markings for Macclesfield. But there is a high school just down that road, and yeah, you'll be able to see children leaving, walking home. I get pretty much stuck in traffic for a little bit here. Thinking about that car in front, it's actually quite a nice car. I do like it. Look at him sneaking up. It's a really awkward section of road, this, especially at peak times, because everyone's sort of squeezing right, like he was, and left. See, my aim now is to get into the left-hand lane. And there's a couple of cars that need to get into the right-hand lane because they're heading out of town. And I think I just get in here. There we go. Now this is the beginning of Congleton, really, where the houses start building up. And even though the sun's blocking it, this is a pub which my friend's brother used to own, and it's closed since. It's called the Grove Inn, I believe. It's empty, derelict, and it's a shame, really. I need to do something with that. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of traffic. But that's okay, because we're having a pleasant drive. Now, one worry that I had was that people were going to see the camera and pull funny faces at it. But luckily, I didn't notice anyone doing that. But that was a real worry at the time. There's a random camper van parked on the side of the road. And we're approaching a section of the road called Root Hill. And funny story, people kept changing the road sign a few years ago, so it was saying Rod Hull. For my international viewers, Rod Hull was a guy who used to be a puppeteer and a children's television presenter, broadcaster. Rod Hull had this puppet called Emu. God rest his soul, he isn't amongst us anymore. He died. He had a little accident, fell off a set of ladders, I believe, or the roof of his house trying to sort out the TV aerial. But yeah, people just kept on changing the name on the road sign to Rod Hull. I guess they were bored. Look at him sneaking behind his little motorbike. I don't know. Anyway, if we carried on directly across the traffic lights there, that would take us to Clayton Bypass, where the McDonald's and the Tesco is. But we're turning off here, heading towards the town centre. If we can get out of the junction, that is. Here we go. So I nearly moved into one of these houses on the right hand side of the road. Kind of glad I didn't. I can imagine the traffic gets quite bad. When I go to work, I don't actually come this way, so I don't normally see this at peak hours, peak time. But yeah, it's a little different. Nice little retirement homes there, retirement flats on the left that we just passed. And right now we're travelling over the River Dane. When I was a young air cadet, the squadron used to be just down by the River Dane on the right hand side there, so we went over the bridge. This is a road called Mountbatten Way. Sorry about that. behind there. Little Vauxhall course, I think it is. Now that spire that you can see just over the top left hand side of the Vauxhall, that's the town hall, and the big sort of cube building on the left hand of the screen, that's the police station in Congleton. You can see my indicators flashing because we're about to try and hang a right hand turn here. Or try to anyway. And that orange bus just up ahead, that's my old school bus. And I used to be a little schoolboy down here in Congleton. I used to think it is anyway. Might be wrong. In fact, I think I am. Disregard that. So yeah, you can see the town hall there. And of course the library. And just above the library, you can see the tower for St. Peter's Church. Lots of traffic and some pedestrians. Down on the if we turn left here, I'd be heading towards the leisure centre and the park, but we're going to go right. Past a big supermarket, and the bus stops. Capital Walk. Now, here's the old town centre. You can see where the bookies is, Coral. There's a wall right in front of that, and that's called Woolies Wall, because the shop opposite used to be a Woolworths. Raphael's nightclub, Pound Stretcher, Capital Walk. Oh yeah. So yeah, that bus wasn't my old school bus. Beg your pardon. A&A Music there. And we're on Canal Street. The club, imaginative name there for a club, I guess. The local Ford dealership, just on the right there. Now, yeah, the camera's already dropped. I don't know if you noticed it falling, but it has dropped. The cradle gave away. Is the Vale Club. Now this road is called Canal Road because at the top of the road is a canal. But before the canal came here, it was called Dog Lane. I have no idea why. We're about to go past the bus. Whee! And the van. And on the left here, though you can't see it too well, is the War Memorial Hospital. And we are just about to go under the canal. That's pretty much it. This is the journey what I did in real life was actually head out of Congleton at this point and drive towards the next town, the town where I grew up, a bit off. Just about to go over the main line from London, train line, London to Manchester there. And that's it. That's my little journey from Wilmslow to Congleton. Good night.